Good morning, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you very much for joining our UNEG and ALNAP EP session on real-time learning and real-time evaluation approaches during COVID-19. We're pretty much ready to start, so I would just like to briefly introduce Andrew Fyfe to you, who will give the opening remarks. Andrew is the head of evaluation at the UN Capital Development Fund since 2011. And one of the vice chairs of the UN Evaluation Group since 2020. Andrew is an experienced evaluation manager and consultant with more than 20 years of experience in international cooperation in the multilateral sector, most of that in the area of evaluation. As an independent consultant, he has been applying a range of evaluation approaches to development cooperation in a variety of sectors across the developing world, such as public administration reform, private sector development, and civil society development. Most recently, Andrew's interests have focused on strengthening the norms and standards for evaluation functions across the UN system, as well as on identifying the most appropriate evaluation methods and techniques to deploy in real-world evaluation settings. Now, without further ado, I will hand it over to Andrew. Andrew, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Thomas, for that welcome. And colleagues, thank you very much for joining us today. I'm so impressed just how far-reaching this event is. I've noted people logging in from Pakistan, Bhutan, Yemen, Libya, Colombia. That's very impressive. I'm talking to you from here in New York, a cold morning in New York. So I'm very happy to welcome you to this joint UNEG-ALNAP evaluation practice exchange on real-time evaluation, real-time learning. I'm not sure if any of you know, but UNEG has a tradition of evaluation practice exchanges where essentially practitioners from across the network talk to each other about specific topics and, with the aim of learning from experience and learning from practice. And that's been very helpful for a lot of us to learn from others, but also to keep the UNEG network going. So it's great to see this modality being extended now to this partnership with ALNAP. And I hope this is a model for UNEG and perhaps also for ALNAP going forward. So if we think about the topic of today, clearly the ongoing global COVID crisis, it raises, again, one of the central questions for the evaluation profession. How can we be of most use to decision makers with up-to-date evaluative findings, judgments, and conclusions while maintaining appropriate rigor, independence, and credibility that the profession expects of us? And I think we can pose that question at the level of development and humanitarian programming cycles overall. And we can think about, at what points in those cycles we come in with monitoring, with evaluation, and with learning. One example that I'm very familiar with is the EU's results-oriented monitoring system, which really applies a formal evaluative lens to performance assessment at very regular moments in the programming cycle. Or I think we can pose this question within the framework of specific evaluation exercises. And I think that traditionally has been the focus of real-time evaluation, where we really get in, we really try to think about how within the process of evaluations, this kind of information can be made available. So I think this is all very highly relevant, as I said, to our ongoing COVID situation, but also to other emergency and crisis situations. And it may also be of relevance more broadly to us as a profession and as evaluators. Again, this sort of challenge of how can we be relevant, how can we be useful and really support and inform decision making while remaining true and faithful to the tenets and the requirements of our profession. So without further ado, I'm very happy to introduce to you the two authors of a paper on this topic that is going to be presented, Margie Buchanan Smith and Susanna Morrison Metois. And we're also going to hear from colleagues from World Vision, from Norwegian Refugee Council, from UNICEF and FAO around their experiences of working with this topic.